Good morning, good morning, good morning, Nudelberg, Daily Huddle. It's Thursday. We're approaching the end of the first week of January, and oh, what a fantastic week it's been.
So has the week gone fast for you?
Yeah, definitely. Like when I was in the gym this morning, the trainer was like, "It's Thursday. Let's finish the last half of the week strong." And I was like, "Oh man, we're at the end of the week already." Like, wow, where did that go?
To me, it's just fascinating. And I've been, really productive the last 3 days. Lots of stuff going on, lots of in-deep conversations, so I'm firing on all cylinders. It feels great, but it's gone fast. Good morning, Dan Nelson. Thank you for that introduction. I think he sort of thought of it. He goes, "This guy might be good for you." So I was like, "I don't know him, but he might be good for you." So good job, man. I'm glad you were thinking about me. We're thinking about you always. Good morning, Debbie Hammer. Greg Goldstein. Who is Double G? Man, that guy is Brent. Like, his content is sharp. I mean, he's a totally different guy, man. I love it.
That's awesome. And I want to give a shout out to Hayden as well, because Hayden put out a great post yesterday about his word of the year. There he is. He's popping in this morning from Arizona. Love it. Love the discipline to get in here this morning. But his word of the year is green lights, which he read the Matthew McConaughey book. He gave some great takeaways from the book. And, he credited us for helping him start doing that exercise. So it's super cool, and congratulations and great start to the year. Great stuff.
That word exercise starting to make its way around, social circles, or social media, LinkedIn. I'm glad, because it really is so defining. And it's just an exercise I've done forever. Yet you don't really hear the masses talk about it, but it is really defining.
So let me just tell people a little bit of a story about how my word is already working. So as I promised, before we do anything, I write that little addition symbol down everywhere. So we had our get on the ball meeting yesterday. I sit down in the room, I open up my notebook to a blank page, and I write that little addition symbol in the top right corner. And when at the end of that meeting, we come to the conclusion that it's time to add a member to that team. So just the way the word comes to fruition and you start recognizing what's happening and how it applies. Sometimes it actually is an actual addition. Sometimes it's addition by subtraction. Sometimes it's just, being aware of what's being added through that thing. But it was super cool for me yesterday to be like, wow, here's the symbol at the top. And the whole, what we read, the resolution at the end of the meeting was like, okay, we got to add somebody. There's something, if we want to continue to add to the business, we got to add a person. And it's just crazy the way it happens.
So interesting, because well, first of all, sitting in the room with Joe Mullings, who is our partner in that business, you wrote about it this morning in your post. I mean, the genuine authenticity of this is the way it is.
Yep.
There was no fluff, no, hey, here's the State of the Union.
Yep.
And delivered just the way I wanted it. You and I had strategized. We said, let's get his take on it. We're in it. He's not day to day. Let's get his take. His take was spot on. We agreed. The meeting moved quickly. But when you're around smart people who care, the energy is at a whole nother level. And it's just, it's like people who are bought in. So, we checked the boxes. We did all we did. But back to the word, Tuesday morning, Lori Salarillo texts me. She goes, I put on my Sirius radio, and the first song on was Another Day in Paradise. So she texted me. It shows up all the time if you're paying attention. So
it shows up, that it does. So we're going to get to some wake up music. We're going to wake up. Then we're going to get to some headlines and some things that make you go, And then we are going to flip the script, and we're going to ask you some questions at the end of the show.
I absolutely refuse.
Shay, let's wake up.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! wake up. Come on, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more about the thinking. Time for thinking ahead. Come on now.
Before you move on from Hayden, this is the comment of the century. Actually, the internal dialogue, that voice in your head that's playing games, telling you you're not worth it, telling you you can't do it, all of that fear and doubt that everybody deals with. The word is one of those exercises that allows you to push it out and say, I got this, man. You're not, the enemy will not play here.
It's fantastic, Hayden. I absolutely love the comment as well. So we are going to move to some Huddle headlines that both of these headlines are going to be things that make you go, Shay, give me the music.
I love this segment, by the way.
So the first one is Miami Lakes. And I want to get this right because I want to quote the company correctly. So Andrea Graham Riccici, vice president of the Graham Company, told Local 10 News that the company is moving away from the Hula name and wants a fresh start. So they are taking down the Hula name from the steakhouse, from the hotel, and from the golf club in Miami Lakes. And I want to get this quote correctly. She says the partnership started decades ago because Miami Lakes did not have much name recognition, but everyone knew the legendary Miami Dolphins head coach. Miami Lakes is more well-known now, so the decision was made to move away from the Hula name. Business decisions that make you go, I don't get it.
Shay, give me some
Things
music.
that make you go, things that make you go,
Okay, so let me break this down quickly for you. I worked with Coach Hula for years. The man is a legend. Legends live on forever. And to say to the public that Miami Lakes is well known, how many people are sitting in Minnesota going, I can't wait to go to Miami Lakes.
I want to go to Miami Lakes.
What?
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's people who just are living in their own bubble. Sacrilege. There's Tracy Caracito, who
Right.
worked with me there. We did tons of stuff there. You have history there. I
mean-
did so much with Coach Hula there in the steakhouses. That's where we did all of the lunches and
all he did to help build that community, like all he giving his name, being a part of the churches and the community there. Unbelievable to me that they would choose to go in this direction and actually take somebody who's been, moved into this legendary status after his passing to say, nope, we're not going to do it.
So the thing is, generally speaking, whether it's in art, music, or sports, somebody's name is more valuable when they die. What are you doing? Just
Bill Bowman, Miami Lakes is unlegendary. Right. So
Miami Lakes, and if
unbelievable.
you've been to Miami Lakes, the only reason why you would go there was because it was associated with Hula.
Okay, so here is another Huddle headline for people that will definitely make you go, and definitely in the HR department, but also in the sports world. The NFL issued a warning to teams that they could lose a draft pick between rounds 1 and 4 and face significant fines, minimum of $150,000, if the club represents conduct themselves unprofessionally in interviews with draft prospects. Now, you may be wondering, what could they be doing that would be misconduct in a draft prospect interview? Oh, don't worry. I have some information.
So wait a minute. So when Jake did this, I was like, I don't get it. He goes, wait to hear these questions. I was like, this is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So, this continues on with the football business is its own world, and I can't believe that these things would even happen. But 15 of the weirdest questions NFL teams have asked draft prospects at the combine. Now, I've gone through this list, and I'm going to pick out a few to talk about, but we've talked about this before in the hiring process. We talked about it yesterday as a part of hiring for the Get on the Ball team. The vetting process is so important, right? And especially in the NFL level, you don't want to miss.
For Joe, and that's why I asked him, are we going to put that person? And he goes, yeah, if it's an important person.
He goes, well, it's important to do. Right?
Could have had to be 8. Right?
Correct. But so I, and we've talked about asking the question, what's your favorite ice cream to get? So asking interesting questions or asking an out of the box question is, I get it. I get the philosophy behind it. And I think there's a lot of value to it. But please ask me why in an interview process you would ask an NFL prospect, do you like men? What?
Whoa. I think this one, well, that's just ridiculous. But the first one there, do you find your mother attractive? I'm like, dude, what do you want to pick a fight? What the fuck, man?
Here's another one that's related to the mother. Is your mother a prostitute?
That's grounds for kicking someone's ass. I mean, it's like, come on, man.
What's your murder weapon of choice? Like, guys, let's be serious here. Let's understand that maybe some of these kids come from broken homes, from inner cities, from hard backgrounds. But these are guys that you're vetting to see whether or not they fit the team and whether or not they're going to play good football. This is the kind of conduct that guys like Urban Meyer have allowed to happen for decades upon decades, which creates the culture of this coaching profession that you've seen become inflammatory over the past 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw the list, I really am struggling to believe that it's real. It's like, in what world does this really happen? I mean, for me, number 15 is just absolutely.
Are you afraid of clowns? I don't get it.
Like, even if you are, I don't want to go there. It's like, why would you ask me that?
It's unbelievable. So there's 15 questions here.
You remember killer clowns?
Killer clowns from outer space. Right. It's unbelievable. So there's 15 questions here that are unbelievable. We're happy to share the news article with you. We're happy to share the questions with you. It was in USA Today.
Last one. What color is chocolate?
Yeah, it's so unbelievable. It's really. So I'm going to move topics. We've been on this conversation of thinking, rethinking, reflecting. We've been talking about that. Adam Grant, who I'm a huge fan of, who is an organizational behavior psychologist, put out a tweet to end his year with 21 things he rethought, but also the 5 hierarchies of thinking styles, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. Okay. And so he breaks them down into 5: the learner, the critical thinker, the contrarian, the politician, and the cult leader. The very top of the pyramid is the learner. And he defines the learner as a simple quote of saying, I might be wrong, right? Living and breathing the belief that I might be wrong, being a person that surrounds themselves with people who challenge their thought process, changing their mind and facing stronger logic and evidence, and understanding that there's an emotional impact to that. I think if you were to strive to be that every day, you really got to understand that if you're going to challenge what you believe every single day, there's going to be some emotions that come along with that, and being willing to process that as you actually challenge what you're thinking and try new processes, try new systems, try new behaviors, and look for more information to validate what other people are saying that's contrary to what you believe.
So Christian is always on point. The pyramid's upside down in most companies. Shay actually shared with me a video yesterday, which, by the way, I love the way we all share information regularly with each other. But he shared a Simon Sinek where they did a study of Navy SEALs and what they were looking for between high performers and attitude. And the graph he built was like so mind-boggling, because the one you would think the highest performers are not what they're looking for. They're looking for medium performers that they can trust.
Yep.
You know, because highest performers without trust,
Correct.
that's the cult leader. That's that. It's my way. I'm doing it. That you want to work for my company, you know. So that's flawed.
So as you think about yourself as a thinker every day, and what your thinking style is as you go into meetings, as you receive information, as you build your processes and your systems and your personal daily routines, you know, the learner is what you're striving to be for. Adam Grant talks about how most people fall into the critical thinker, which is more of the that might be wrong. They're willing to accept that information might be wrong. They'll pull from other sources. They'll engage with other things, but they're not willing to accept the fact that I might be wrong. The contrarian is somewhere where we really don't want to fall to, which is saying you're all wrong, I'm right, you're all wrong, and constantly trying to prove that everybody else's beliefs are wrong based on what they all know. The second to last would be the politician, which is saying they're all wrong and we're all right, right? I'm not only willing to say that you guys are all wrong, but I'm going to stand on what I know, not accept any new information. And then the last one is the cult leader, which is I'm the one who's always right. I preach the gospel. I know everything. Nobody else knows anything. And that's where you really wrap yourself into a box and don't allow any new information in, and aren't willing to challenge any of your own thoughts.
So a couple of things about this, Grant. First of all, Adam Grant is tremendous, puts out great content. The bottom has an asterisk that says, does not apply to my spouse, who is actually always right.
Very funny.
Hey, can I get a bam on that? You know, bang.
Shay, give us the bang.
Pulls up, three-pointer. Bang! Bang! It's good.
So really, really fantastic. But I think this comes from what we talk about. Are you willing to be coached? Are you coachable? You know, I believe when I get into like yesterday's meeting, I was already okay with what I didn't know.
Yep.
And I think we came to that yesterday, which 3A personalities, that meeting could have gone a lot of different ways.
Sure.
Because we're all looking for tremendous growth. We had to look at what we do right, what we do wrong, and then go, all right, you know what? Maybe none of us know this shit.
Right.
You know, maybe, you know, that is a very interesting place, because the cult leader never gets there.
Absolutely not. Neither does the politician.
The politician knows it, won't share it.
Correct.
He's preaching, screaming so loud in the room so that no one else can be heard.
Exactly.
You know, the cult leader just won't hear it. So
and the
it's
contrarian
really
is so worried about proving everybody else wrong and poking holes in what everybody else is saying that they're not going to share any of their own information of what they're thinking. So living in that critical thinker and then striving to be in that learner and trying to live in that learner thinking philosophy every single day is really where we want to be. So
wait. So I just, because we're on something good here. You know, I had a conversation yesterday with somebody in Fresno, California, who is actually considering working with us. And she said, I want to paint you the picture. We are not broken. We are really, really, really good. We've made some changes. We've dabbled in this, but we want to be the best. And we need someone else to help us get better. I wanted to reach through and hug this lady. Jay, you know, you can jump in if you want. Was that the most amazing comment yesterday when she said that dialogue?
Yeah, she has, you know, it's nice. Like when you talk to somebody, they want to, like, they're doing good right now. They want to get better.
They have the awareness to be able to ask for that.
Not only that, she, you know, disclosed that there was a company, or is still a company, was a company there that did call it, you know, $20 million. And so there's so much room for growth for them that, you know, it's there.
So I loved it, because what we talk about all the time is what's possible. That showed me what's possible. People who are setting, you know, their goals and doing all that stuff, and had a great dialogue with Laura Sherwin yesterday about goals and, you know, is it realistic, or are you stretching, or whatever. If the market is producing X amount of business, your goal is to get your unfair share. So we're in $1 billion business. Training and coaching is $1 billion business. We just want to carve out
Our
a
unfair share.
decimal point, so, that's where the reality point comes from. So this is all about thinking, which really tees up our presentation tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. It's spot on. It is, really mindset. So
1,000%. Yeah. So, and we don't even have to go into the questions. I had a few questions that I was going to ask you to reflect for next year, but we're coming up on time. And I think, so let's leave people with these hierarchy of thinking styles will help you stay a constant learner. And if there's anything that you hear as something that's a goal or something that you should constantly be doing that we talk about all the time is being a lifelong learner. That was part of our conversation yesterday in our meeting was, look, we can all do a lot of things really well, and this business can be successful if we're paying attention to it 24/7. But there is a gap here that none of us are experts at, that we need to bring somebody in who is an expert and listen to what they say and take their guidance so that we can all elevate together. And that is truly being the learner, constantly looking for new systems, new information, new ways, and being able to apply it. That was my presentation about sales at the end of last year. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Super excited for that event and can't wait to do it.
So one of the questions you were going to ask me was about a weakness. I think that was one of the ones we talked about yesterday. And for me, glaringly, I work on patience. 6 months into the business, I was like, let's throw the hammer down. Let's throw some money at it. Let's fucking go. Joe and you were like, whoa, pump the brakes. We're working, we're testing, we're doing. And when the content is evergreen, you don't have to rush to market. Like one of the things he said that was so powerful for me is like, everybody wants to have, an overnight
$1 million overnight.
$1 million business. Oh, I got $1 million internet business. The ones who are talking about it are full of shit because, it's difficult to do because it's a crowded marketplace. You got to take your time. You got to take your lumps. You got to learn.
Do it the right way.
That is all learning. That is all learning. And I'm confident that because of the patience, yesterday's meeting was, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. It was like, we were all doing.
Here's what we've all done.
Very obvious. That's learning. That's total learning. So, what a great show for the first week, everybody can put that up and say, when I go in this meeting, where do I want to be? And focus on being that person that is, allowing, the learning process to take place. Great job today, sir.
Love it. Fantastic. And we're going to leave you with motivational music instead of our normal leaving music because it's all about thinking today. It's going to be all about thinking for the rest of the week. So let's go to the morning motivational music. Have a great Thursday. See you tomorrow morning.
You better think about what you're saying. You better think about the consequences of your actions.
Oh, shut up, woman.
You better think.